G'day, and I hope you're all well, Welcome to my Bootlosophy channel, and if you're new here, my name is Tek. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land that I live and work on, the Wajak people of Noongar Boodja. So today, I'm going through my early impressions of these Oak Street Bootmaker trench boots in Horween's Natural Dublin leather. I got this pair during the 2022 Black Friday sales last November, and they arrived just before Christmas. So while I filmed the unboxing, I didn't put it up as a separate video. I got them for US $381, down from $508, which is a fantastic discount. So after getting them, I wore them every day for 2 weeks, bar a day when I had to see a client in a suit, so I wore dress boots. That's my usual break-in process, by the way. 2 weeks solid wear, then 2 weeks for 2 or 3 days a week, and then regular rotation. These didn't need the full 2 weeks, but I thought it helped the patina process quickly as well. Called the trench boot, this is clearly a service boot style pair of boots. Oak Street Bootmakers adapted the design from World War I American boots worn in the trenches. It's a 6-inch boot with a toe cap and a 2-piece backstay. They make this design in plain toe as well as cap toe, and also in a brogued cap toe. They make them in leathers mainly from their Chicago neighbors Horween, but they have a variety of others. I'll leave a link to their website below. Honestly, I have quite a few pros rather than cons with Oak Street Bootmakers, but one of those that stand out was an early impression of their customer service. On an earlier purchase of a trench boot in Natural Chrome XL, I stuffed up cutting the rawhide laces too short, so I ordered another pair of laces. When I got them, there were 2 pairs in the package with a note that said, "They might get lonely on the journey to Australia, so we put 2 in." Now that's the kind of stuff you remember. They rest on a rubber-studded day-night outsole. The heel block is made of 2 thick stacks of real leather plus a day-night rubber top lift. It gives a reasonably good grip while also gives you a slim profile. For my use case scenarios in mainly urban settings, the day-night soles are pretty good. The insole and outsole are veg-tanned, and there's a cork filler and a steel shank, and the uppers are stitched on using the Goodyear welt form of construction. Inside the boot, there's a comfort leather heel pad. It goes from heel to arch, More of that later. My earlier pair of trench boots had a full-length leather comfort insole, which I found to be quite slippery inside. It gave the experience of your foot slipping forwards into the toe box as you walk. I don't get that with these. The uppers are Halloween's Natural Dublin leather. Being natural, it's not dyed. You can see the animal's pores and veins and fat deposits quite clearly, and there's quite a strong pull-up effect to it. After a month's fairly intense wear, the patina is already showing through, especially on the vamp. You might think it's creasing badly, but that's actually a characteristic of veg tan Natural Dublin. It is veg tan, so the creasing, or in fact actually called piping, is to be expected. It's not loose grain, but natural veg tan piping. It smells awesome, and it's up to 3 millimeters thick in most places. The vamp is lined with a soft calf skin, but the shaft is unlined. The hardware is antique brass, made up of a combo of 6 eyelets and 2 speed hooks. The top set of speed hooks I find too close to the top. When you lace up to that last speed hook, and with these really long rawhide laces, if you wrap them around the shaft before tying the knot, I find that the laces slip above the rather short, ungusseted tongue. The stitching is okay. There are 1 or 2 loose threads at the end of stitching runs, but not a bother. One of the odd things, though, on this pair is the lasting. I found out from the makers that this is one of their hand-lasted boots. It's a new form of lasting that they've started. This was signified by the heel pad that I mentioned earlier. They're gradually changing all their trench boots to hand-lasting. When a boot is made, the leather is stretched around the last. Now, this is not easy to do by hand, and it takes experience and not a little skill. It's only January, so you still remember wrapping awkwardly shaped round Christmas presents, right? It's not easy to pull a flat piece of leather around a round shape. It creates folds and pleats unless you really pull it tight. In this case, you can see the folds at the toe. It's not structural, and some might not like it, but it doesn't bother me, and I can appreciate the hand lasting. As for sizing, I measure a US 8.5 in D width on the Brannock device, so I call that my true size. In the UK, Canada, South Africa, and here in Australia, we tend to use UK sizing, which is 1 number down from US numbers. Oak Street Bootmakers will tell you to go true to size. So I got these in 8.5 D, and the fit's really good. In most of my other American boots, I'd be half size down in an 8. The Oak Street Bootmakers Elston Last is fairly generous in the toe box. I like that, and I find them really comfortable. I rate comfort very highly in these actually, and they pretty much came that way out of the box. I found they mostly broke in after about 3 days. All in all, I'm more inclined to lean toward the pros of these boots than any cons. I lean towards the favorable because I really love this leather, and I do like how these feel on foot. They're comfortable, they're supportive, and they really bundle up my feet in the right way. But come back in a few months, or maybe a year or so, I'll do a longer-term review to see if I've changed my mind. In the meantime, while you're here, don't forget to click on like, and if you haven't already, click on subscribe. Not only will you help me grow my channel, which is great, but if you like boots and you like the way I review them, YouTube will notify you when I upload so you can keep watching. Go for it. Until then, take care, and I'll see you soon.